So I've been attempting to visualize almost daily, and I wanted to talk about kind of different things to do with visualization, mental imagery, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of the thing I've been making some content about. I want to make more content about it, and I'm also thinking about kind of releasing like a mini course just talking about that specifically, because that's what I've been trying to implement the most out of all the other kind of mental techniques like meditation or whatever. And for this video, I wanted to talk about simply the perspectives of mental imagery. And I'm not going to talk about any kind of scientific concepts here. Personally, I don't focus heavily on the science. I see it as something for me to use. So if people have said that, oh, is actually really useful, then I want to try it out, right? I want to see for myself how it works, right? I don't really care what the science says. I'm not going to read scientific articles all about it. And so with imagery perspectives, I kind of experimented with it just to see how it works with me. And I have some notes down. I'm going to quickly talk about them. But simply there's two kinds of imagery. So there's external and internal. External, well, let's start internal. Internal is simply like what you see with your own eyes, right? Just through this lens, first person perspective, it's shooting the basketball while you're seeing it through your own eyes. And then external is third person. So it's like someone else watching you shoot a basketball, or, I don't know, perform a takedown or whatever sport you do. And that's kind of common knowledge. But from me just using that, I've noticed that I perform better in terms of kind of skill, like form of a skill. So let's say I want to shoot a basketball. The form I use, the kind of motion I used to do that, I feel like it's more effective, and I do it better when I view outside of myself doing it. So imagining it through like a movie, like a camera watching me from different perspectives, or someone else watching me, or sometimes I might record myself and then just imagine that recording of myself just differently, but it's from that same angle that I recorded myself. And so like you can experiment with it a lot. Sometimes I imagine it like a documentary film, just like the camera kind of moves, which is me do it. And yeah, that's really fun, and I feel like, and it might be scientific on why form related imagery perspectives work, but that's what I found. But internal, I found it's really effective with like time, like situational stuff. So not formulated things. So let's say, basketball, you're playing with a bunch of teammates. So on a fast break, when there's a turnover, or like you have the ball and everyone else is rushing on the other side, it's like just seeing where people are, or like seeing motion is much better internally. But that might also be back to science, I'm not sure, but I imagine kind of positioning through internal imagery, so seeing it through my own eyes. And generally, like when you play in competitions or in games, like you're watching it through your own eyes anyway, so that's kind of what you want to focus most on. But I notice like when I imagine myself shooting or whatever, I imagine it through like someone else watching it. Yeah, this video is much longer than I want it to be, but also, I want to say I actually do practice both of them, sometimes in the same imagery, but I practice both of them almost at a 50-50 split, and I find that it works well for me, so it might work well for you, I'm not sure. But one thing I've noticed a lot is that it takes a lot of experimentation to get right. I'm also kind of struggling to do it daily, but I've been trying to do it daily, so I'll make a video talking about that. But yeah, hope you found some use out of that. Peace.